welcome to Wednesday, Total Fitness, and today's routine, relax. But the title of that is a little bit ironic because it ain't very relaxing, I have to say. It's named for the finisher, which we'll get to in due course, a bit of Frankie Goes to Hollywood theme there. You will need a kettlebell or two. If you've got a bit of variety in your kettlebells, that's great. Hopefully you can get by with one. That's it. Let's get warmed up first, and then I can go through the details with you. Yeah, let's go. Right, chuck it on the spot. Right, so Lewis, morning. Morning, Lewis. Yeah, good, Lewis. Chest stretch, 10. Circles, relax. We're doing AMRAPs today, 3 10-minute AMRAPs. AMRAPs is as many rounds as possible. Okay? So as many rounds as possible in 10 minutes. And we've always got, in each of the 3, do 3 different AMRAPs. And each of the 3 consists of 5 exercises. You're going to do number 1, then number 2, up to 5, and then back to the start. And just go through it at your own pace. Don't worry about anyone else, don't worry about me, or anyone else in the room, okay? Just go at your pace. Okay, I'll go for the exercises in a minute. And it's always, the intensity goes up and the reps come down. So exercise 1 is always 50 reps for the low intensity exercise. Then exercise 2 is 40 reps, a slightly more intense exercise. Then number 3 is 30, a bit more intense. Then 20, and then finally 10 of a much more sort of intense resistance-based exercise. And as usual, working around the body, so we want equal parts, push, pull, core, legs, and of course heart, lungs, and everything else that's involved with that. So, number 1, your first circuit, your 50 rep is 50 jacks. So just like your warm-up, okay, 50 jacks. Okay, nice full range jacks, okay, again, no rush. 50 jacks. Number 2 is your 40 crunches. Okay, so a crunch, slightly different to a sit-up. Whereas a sit-up, you've got that hip flexion. With a crunch, there is no hip flexion. You're just going to squeeze just the spine, so it's a much smaller range of movement. Okay, and you're not sitting up. To make it harder, hands to the back of the head, elbows to the ground, and then just squeeze. 2, 3. It starts off very easily, it applies up 20, 30. It should start to really kick in. Okay? So again, just focus on good form, getting the elbows back, and make it work for you. Number 3, 30 reps. Again, a little bit like a warm-up. Okay, you're going to do a high plank, push the floor away. This time you're going to reach my right hand to the left toe. Back. I'm not going into upward dog though. I'm just staying straight in that high plank. Push with my right hand, left hand to the right foot. There, so I'm literally pushing the floor away. Push, reach, push. 30 reps, 15 each side. If you can't reach your toe, that's fine. Just reach as low, get to your knee or as low as you can. Okay? Right. 20 and 10, now the intensity's going up a little bit now. 20 burpees. At least we're getting them out of the way in the first round, right? Your burpees can either be full-on chest to floor up. Okay? Anyone doing this for the first time, don't go chest to floor. Just do like an easy burpee. It's still hard. Okay? Hands down and just out, in, stand up. Okay? Take your time. 20 reps. And then your 10 reps, you're going to go 10 per side push press. You're working the shoulders. You're going to rack your kettlebell so your kettlebell sits on the outside of your wrist. Okay? And your hands should be just under your chin. And it's nice and tight there, so that angle up. And then it's a little dip. Then drive up. Okay, so you can use that little bit of leg power. Okay? And then push through the shoulders. 10 reps each side. And then round you go again. Okay? 50 jacks. 40 crunches. 30. Push from the high plank to reach the toe. 20 burpees again, you get that far. Remember, there's no set times. You just do what you can. Okay? If you get through twice, you've done very, very well. Once is great though, and just sort of plod through again, see how far you get. You go to your pace and your ability. Right, okay. Let me just set the timer then. You get 3 minutes rest at the end before we move on to the next one. Okay then. Right, so 150 jacks. As many rounds as possible, 10 minutes. 3, 2, 1.
Party's just begun. Is everybody having fun? So we don't care about the way it goes. I don't say it, the boss is a so that's the love. They mean us, all this run smooth. I should keep the bar, the rock, the wrong fast. I should you know, one, it's just gone. Is everybody having fun? It's just gone. It's just gone. Is everybody having fun? It's just gone. It's just gone. Is everybody having fun? It's just gone. Is everybody having fun? The party's just gone.
Let's then 50 reps, it's prone bunny hops. So we're going to use our mat, hands either side, like that. We're going to do a press up, you can then slightly bend knees, and then hop over your mat. Okay? If you want to make them slightly easier, then forget the mat and just do smaller hops, okay? So use your mat that sort of distance if you can. 50 reps. Number 2, 40 reps of racked marches. You're going to split that and do 20 each side, okay? So you're going to rack it, hand up the chin, pull it in, and then march, knees up. Okay, keep the distance, keep tracking. You don't be like this. Okay, make sure it's there. Bring the knee up in a nice straight line. 20, and then 20 that side. 30 reps. Player lunges. Okay, there. 1, 2. If you don't want to do player lunges, you're a beginner, I advise, just do 30 little real lunges. Remember your lunges, stay on your train tracks. Imagine you're on those lines, stay on those lines. Okay, same with the players. Okay, I'm still trying to land on the line. Okay, 30 reps. 20 reps. That's horrible coming after that. 20 American swing. So through the thigh triangle. Imagine you're aiming for your bum with a kettlebell. And then all the way up. Okay? Nice big swing. And then this time your 10 is a squat thrust to alternate double row. So, I'm going to go there, kettlebell there, out, in, 1, 2. That's 1 rep. Back to centre. Then the other side. 2 rows each time. There. Into the waist. Okay, 10 reps total. Okay, right, let's do it. Right, bunny hops. Brilliant. Hey there. Good morning, don't forget to like and subscribe. All you need is one of these. Right, ready, 10 minutes. 50 reps. is your 5. Your 50 repper, split jacks, easy. So imagine you play a lunge but nowhere near as deep. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. On the toes. Easy. 40. Cycle crunch. Okay, one leg in, one leg out. Smooth and fluid, one leg straight. Not this. Okay, that's not it. You've got to get movement in the hips. It's not just the knees doing that. Like a turtle flipped. You want to look elegant. So that means sitting behind. Who cares? Right, 30. Deadlift. Sorry, someone else said deadlift. I said no, please. But there is 30 reps. If you want to get a different weight, you can. But bear in mind, it is 30. And it is sandwiched in between a load of other stuff. So you're not going to want to go mega heavy. Okay, so there. And hinge. Doing deadlift. Okay, knees out. Screw your feet into the floor and close your armpits. Give those 2 cues generally. Get knees out, armpits closed, and then hinge the hips. 30 reps. 20 floor press. This is the first side one. It's a little bit tougher. The chest. Bring it in with both hands. That's my start position, look. Not like that. There. 45 degrees. Elbow back to the ground, but not the kettlebell. Somebody always does this every time. Okay, it's not that. Once you're there, that's it. That's your start and finish point. Elbow down. 20 on the left, 20 on the right. And then the last one, alternate. Clean to rear lunge. Get it there between your feet. Get clean. And rear lunge. Back. Switch. Left side. Okay? So you've done just 10 total. Okay, right, let's do it then. You rest up. This is the final one. Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. for you. All you need is your mats. Very much abs based with a bit of hip mobility thrown in. I'll explain all in a second. Put your kettlebells away. And then back to your mats in a second. Got our challenge. Relax. Okay, so it's a trigger feature. So the lyric in the song triggers the movement in the exercise. So Frankie goes to Hollywood again. Start with 2 drives, finish with relax. This time you're doing sit-ups as your background exercise. So if nothing else, you're trying to do sit-ups the whole time. So this time, okay, don't expect it to be too strict. A strict sit-up is feet flat, nailed to the ground, hands nailed to the back of the head. That's what I call a strict sit-up. Also, very limited spinal extension, just there, tight, in, back, in, there, really, really tough. Okay, so it's fine if you can do what I call cheaty sit-ups. Throw your arms forward, have your legs forward as well. Makes it much, much easier. Okay, like I was saying, cheating fine, as long as you know you're cheating and not conning yourself into thinking you're a sit-up king, when really you're not. Okay, that's the fact about it. Right, the twist is, every time you hear the lyric relax, you don't relax, you stand up. Well, you kind of relax from sit-ups, so you kind of are relaxing. Every time he says it, sometimes it's in quick succession. So you might have to, go like that. Stand up, get back down as fast as you can, up again. If you can do a dead squat, that will flow much better. So when you hear the lyric, get up, stand up, back down, back to sit-ups. Okay, but obviously, deck squats are tough. You know, partial deck squat. Okay, use one hand and quickly get up, okay? Either way, you stand up each time. If he says it 4 times in quick succession, you get up and down 4 times, even if it means falling behind, it doesn't matter, because you'll have plenty of time to sit up going around that. Okay, right, let's do it then. Right, time to relax then. The finisher. 3, 2, 1. subscribe. See you soon or in 2 minutes.
Oh.